have a secret. Right now, competition studios are in full competition mode, which means between the logistics and the recitals and the last minute blocking and the costume chaos, they're not focused on growing their dance studio. But guess what? Parents in your area are still searching for dance classes right now, this very week. If you're a non-competition studio and you're not actively marketing your dance studio right now, you are missing out on a golden opportunity when the playing field is wide open and parents are actively searching for you. Welcome back to Dance Studio Advertising. I'm Bryce Conlan, and today we're going to break down this moment in time to help you understand why this moment is your moment. And by the way, why every spring can be. So let's get into it. So right now in the competition space, and you know that studio owners are up to their eyeballs between costume chaos, reblocking for kids that can't make it, travel logistics to make sure everybody gets there on time, safely collecting payment, all the things that go into successfully running a competition program. They're not focused on growing their business because truthfully, they are just absolutely booked solid for the next 8 to 10 weeks. They're not thinking about growth. They're not running ads. If they are running ads, they're not paying attention to them. So they're just throwing money out the window. If they're getting leads from those ads, they're not following up with them in a timely manner or in the most effective way. And many studios take the approach that they're just going to, quote, pause until summer. Well, here's the deal. Parents right now, they're looking for some place for their kids to dance. Now, why is that? Well, a couple things. One, parents don't know about the seasonality of dance. They don't know that now is a super busy time. They don't know that there's a recital. They're just like looking at their 4-year-old who suddenly started twirling in the living room every time a piece of music comes on, and they're like, well, maybe I should get her into dance. So they're just reaching out. Now, when we got into this world, and Christian and I have been very open about the fact that we're not dancers. We don't come from this world. We've learned a thing or two over the last 4.5 years. But we actually did an info share with some studios as we were first getting started. And the deal was, we'll work for you for free if you give us access to your customers. And so we actually got on the phone and called these dance studios customers, the dance families. And we said, why did you pick this studio? How did you come to pick this one over, say, that one? And the number of times that people said, oh, because they were the only one that was available, was a little bit staggering. And it led to our philosophy, and we say this often, don't turn off the freaking funnel. Like, you always need to have something for somebody, whether they reach out in September or in December or in February or in May. You want to have something that you can offer them. The other reason that parents are thinking about new activities right now is because the family calendar changes with the seasons. So what people do during summer changes when they get into back to school and we're back in session. When we get from, kind of into the new year, things change. That's why like fall sports are done. We're looking for something new. We're through the holidays. That's why there's a big bump in January traditionally. So families are just looking right now. They have holes in their calendar and they're trying to figure out, well, what are we going to do with, Susie on Tuesdays now because we don't have anything. Those families are still Googling dance classes near me. They are still going to Facebook groups in their area. And I don't know where you live. I don't necessarily care where you live. I can guarantee you there's a moms of insert town or village here Facebook group on Facebook. Like, that's where they're gathering. They're getting recommendations. You put an ad in front of them, they're gonna be more likely to say yes, but I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. The other thing that parents know, increasingly, they're aware that summer programming is extremely competitive in terms of when and how you can get your kid in. And so there's a wide group of parents, whether they know this or they just sort of know it intuitively, is they know that priority is given to existing customers, students, before it's given to the public. And so there's parents that are in the marketplace, whether they're single working parents or you've got double working parents, or really, it really doesn't matter, parents that are just planners, they like to plan ahead, they like to have their things set, all the ducks in the row. They're putting their kids in programs today so that they get first spot in summer programs when they become available. So you've got a whole bunch of reasons why people may be in the market. The other one, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this because I think it's a squirrely one and it's a deep dive. For a lot of parents, if it's their first year or two in competition, they may not be fully sold on it. They may be like, yeah, I don't think I want to do this again, because it's a lot. It's a lot of money. It's a lot of time for the dancer, for the parent, carting them around. And so they may be kind of coming to the end of that, just feeling burnt out, going like, I don't know if I want to do that again. And if the studio that they're at currently is a like big competition culture studio, they may be looking for an alternative. So you always want to make sure that you've got something in the marketplace for all of those types of parents, however they choose to come to you, that when they reach out, you can say, I've got a spot for you. But obviously, if they don't know that you exist, then they're not going to reach out. So let's talk about why this is the perfect window for non-competition studios. Number one, you have flexibility. You're not locked into rigid competition schedules. You're in town. It's not like you have to blow your weekly calendar because like suddenly that class is on a bus on their way to Orlando. You can continue to take people, so you can find spots for them because it's largely going to be business as usual. Ideally, you are setting this up to run your programming where you can take new students mid-season with ease. Now, I know that even if you're a non-comp studio, you're still probably a recital studio. You still probably have a show coming up in the next 6 or 8 weeks. And I get that. And I'm sensitive to that. We have helped many studios at Dance Motion Marketing make the transition from I can't take students to I have a way to take students year round. If you'd like to know more, head to our website, dancemotionmarketing.com, schedule a free call. We'd happily talk to you and share with you what we know. And that's going to be really valuable in terms of being able to always say yes. With a recital, without a recital, you always want to be able to say yes. You likely offer, as a non-comp studio, because it's like, yeah, we're here for a recital rather than like we're here to win a prize, you're probably more willing to take a kid that's kind of beginner level, maybe they're not top tier, and find a spot for them. Because why? They just want to dance. Yeah, and that's what we're about, and having a good time. And so that's going to be probably pretty important. Culture is generally going to be, this is just what we found. Keep in mind, this is a broad sweeping generality. It is certainly not true of every studio that runs competition. But generally speaking, what we have found is that non-comp studios tend to be more community oriented and thus more welcoming than competition studios that tend to, like, you may be welcoming, but at the end of the day, we're here to win something. And that is felt by new families, by new dancers. My daughter, I've told the story, the studio that she was at when she started dancing was very community focused. It's just like, it was Irish step, and it was like, we danced for the love of dance. And yeah, they, went to competitions here and there, but it wasn't really a big focal point of the business or of the studio. When we moved, our family relocated, we put her in a new studio, their focus was winning competition. And my daughter just never really found her fit in that particular studio. And we didn't stay. So it didn't turn into a good fit. So making sure that you have a welcoming place for them is going to be really, really great. But again, all of this, like, it sounds good. Maybe you're taking notes and you're going, oh my gosh, yes, I get it. This makes sense. This is brilliant. Yes, I need to be doing this. I need to take advantage of this. But if parents don't know about you today, they're not going to make the call. They're not going to reach out. It's not going to benefit you that all of your competition, all of the other studios in town are busy and underwater if you don't have a plan to accelerate yourself. So let's talk about realistically, what do you do right now? Honestly, if you're not running ads, turn them on, like today, like right now, like stop what you're doing, run, don't walk. You want to keep it simple, and you want to make your messaging something around the idea of enroll for spring into dance. You get the idea. ChatGPT can help you come up with some language if you're stuck, but you want something that's just very clear, right? It's like, come and try a class, come and buy 4 weeks of dance and get a tutu, whatever it is that you want to put out there. But your offering should be really, really clear. Ideally, you're going to want to target kids that are aged 3 to 12. Why? Because after 12, kids, really after 10, kids start driving the buying decision. So mom's writing the check, but the kid is doing this. My former dancer, is 10 years old. She's not into dance anymore. Now she's into horseback riding. So that's what we're doing, right? Because she's saying, like, I never would have picked horseback riding for her, but she's picking it for her. So we're now just supporting her vision. So really, you want to target younger kids if at all possible. You want to keep your messaging fun. You want to keep it low pressure. You want to make it beginner friendly. You want to make it really easy for people to say yes, because again, everybody's talking competition. If I go to a competition studio's website right now, I'm seeing all of the top performers in costume at competitions. And that's intimidating for a lot of parents. And so you want to keep the messaging light, fun, low pressure, and really easy to say yes to. The second thing you want to do, and this is just a freebie, is go to your website, pull it open right now. Pause this episode and then go and look. What's the first thing that you see on your website? If it's like your philosophy around dance, like building artists one step at a time, there's nothing wrong with that. Like keep that, but it's not going to be the thing that speaks to mom. Mom is on your website when she's also standing in line at Starbucks, when she's also, driving across town. She's sitting at a red light. Like she's not spending a ton of time figuring out what she's supposed to click on. So on your homepage, it should be so obvious to mom that in the first 5 seconds, she should see exactly, oh, I'm supposed to click on that thing, and make it really, really easy. Enroll now, try a class, schedule a tour, free class, whatever your messaging is. That's going to be super important. You also want to highlight this time of year in particular that it's not too late to join. That's magical language. Why? Because a lot of parents, if they know someone who's in dance, or if they know of recital, like most parents aren't going to, but some will. And you want to say it's not too late, because they may be like, oh, I'm joining so late in the year. It's not too late to join. That's magic language. Feel free to use that. You want to speed up your follow-up process. So really, parents are busy and they're also super scattered. I know, I am one. If I'm on your website right now, reaching out to you, and I send you a text and you respond back to me while I'm still on your website, I'm far more likely to say yes. If you reach back out to me in 24 hours, 48 hours, I'm going to get a text message and from a dance studio, and I may not even remember that I reached out the first time. Even worse, I may have reached out to multiple studios in a 10-minute period, and the first one to get back to me wins. So if you come back to me in 2 days, I may have already made a decision to go try another studio. And a lot of people are conflict avoidant, and so they're not going to say, hey, thanks for reaching out. Hey, I already made a decision. We're going to go try this other studio. If it's not for us, then I'll come to you. They're just not going to respond, which means you're wasting your time, your effort, your money. If you're paying your front desk to do it, then you're wasting their time and money, and that's not great. You do want to be responding back to leads in 30 to 60 seconds. And realistically, if you don't have a way to do that, again, head to dancemotionmarketing.com, schedule a call, talk to our team. We'll tell you how we do it. We'll show you the tools that we use to do it, because it's really powerful and super important that you're reaching out to people very, very quickly. You may also, during the spring, in terms of what can I offer, if you do have a recital track, if you've got kids, you don't want to put new kids in, or your teachers are giving you pushback, and that's a whole different conversation. Look at a 6-week or an 8-week session. Spring into dance for 8 weeks of dance class for $200 or whatever it is. You can make it, structure it however it's going to work for you. You can create a separate, if you've got time in your schedule, you can create a separate block just for those short session kids, which allows you to keep your recital kids right on track without slowing them down or taking the eye off the ball there, but also allowing you to bring new families through your front door. The other thing that you can continue doing and think about doing is running your short sessions. I mean, if you're not doing this year round anyway, you should be, because they're really, really powerful. Okay, so let's recap. Competition studios right now, they're not focused on growth. They're focused on what? Competition. That means that there is a wide open market. There's a whole group of people, studios in your area that otherwise would be focused on growth, marketing, advertising, following up with leads, that are not, because they just have their hands full with other things. Right now, there is a window for you to step into that space to really make the thing go. It's powerful. I highly encourage you that you start doing that, but it's not going to last long. So if you have all of these things in place, and this was just the kick in the butt that you needed to get them going, or turn your ads back on, or ramp it up, or spend a little more on your ad spend, great, go. If you don't have these things in place and you recognize I'm not super tech savvy, this is going to take me a long time to set this all up, highly encourage you, reach out to our team at dancemotionmarketing.com. Schedule a free call. We're going to give you a marketing assessment. We're going to help you figure out how you can position yourself in the marketplace to win. And then if it's a good fit and if it makes sense, we'll let you know how we can help. There's no pressure on that. We're not going to twist your arm. We don't like twisting arms. You literally have to beg our team to work with us. Like we only say yes to about 4 out of every 10 studios that reach out to us. So that's it for this episode of Dance Studio Advertising. If you're a non-comp studio and you're not marketing today, you're missing an opportunity. Get it going, turn it on, spin it up, make it happen, and grow while everybody else has their eye off the ball.